delivered by an organisation called Believe in Change, and also Swansea University in the south. So it's a pan-Wales operation. It's also not possible in time allocated to tell you all about the services that we do. But what I'd like to do this afternoon is talk about a few headline things that you can look at our website, and please, myself and my colleague Gani, we're here to help. Back to the Enterprise Europe Network. So what is it? Well, we're an online partner finding network. Initially set up with the establishment of the common market, remember those days? To get countries in Europe trading with one another. Now, time has moved on, it's more about getting Europe trading with the rest of the world. So as I stand here this afternoon, we are the largest SME support network in the world, the largest of its kind. We now take in 63 countries of the world, and we have some 4,000 staff. So this thing is huge. Most businesses at this point are Lawson, internationalization, I'm just starting up in business. And I just ask you to think about that, because are you local or are you global? Because it's a much smaller world, and once you have a website, I put it to you, you're global, whether you like it or not. Your customers are not just going to come from Cardiff and South Wales, but they're going to come from other countries as well. In addition to being an online partner finding network, so we match businesses for commercial, technology, and also research, but we also help companies with intellectual property rights. And I know a lot of SMEs, when I was starting up, what's he mean, what's he on about? I'm talking about trademarks, patents, copyright, design rights. So we help SMEs with that. I meet a lot of SMEs, some of them have been trading for quite some time, and they're thinking of selling their business, and then they find they don't even own it because they've actually not registered their trademark. Yeah, and somebody else has got their trademark, and then they start having problems. So we help with intellectual property rights. In addition to that, we organise and participate in a number of brokerage events where we visit other countries and sometimes take companies with us, or certainly take profiles promoting your business. And also, because we're such a large organisation working for SMEs, we're used by the European Commission for what we call EU consultations. So if the Commission is thinking about new legislation or policy, they will put it out through the website, asking you people in the room, what do you think of this? What could be the challenges and the issues? Are we doing the right thing? And my job is that certainly when I see those consultations in certain sectors or affecting different industries, to make sure I reach out to those SMEs and give them a voice in Europe. You'll be pleased to know, if I haven't got your attention already, all our services are without charge. So we are fully funded by the Commission, and also from last year, Innovate UK, which is the UK Government Innovation Agency. So we're now duly funded, and it actually makes a heck of a lot of sense, because now we're more joined up. So I help companies with regional funding, national funding, and also European funding, which to me makes more sense. Not sure if you know, but I think it was about 12-18 months ago, David Cameron made a statement in the House and said, all these SME support services, there's so many of them, how on earth do you navigate through them? You're finding all these bits elsewhere. So part of Enterprise Europe becoming part of Innovate UK is to streamline this and make it more intuitive. So I like to think, and indeed we are, a one-stop shop for doing business abroad. When I say just about internationalization, actually it's more than that, because whatever sector or business you're in, I guarantee you that if you search our website, and right on the home page in the front, and we pass the packs around and we've got a website there, you'll see on the home page, find partners. And if you put a keyword in there, let's say, photonics, ICT. It then brings up the filter saying, fine, what are you looking for? Are you looking for commercial? Are you looking for technology? Or perhaps are you early stage and want to do research? If you put ICT in, you'd have pages. You'd really have to filter your search far more focused on what it was you're looking for. So if you're setting up in business, what a fabulous way to gain market intelligence, to find out what's going on there and who's doing what. So at any one time, if I meet your good self today as a client and you want help internationalizing or help growing your business in other markets, I'd sit down with you and we'd do a search, usually before I meet you, with some keywords to try and bring along some examples of profiles that are what you're looking for. They'll all be anonymized and they'll all be in English, picking up an earlier point. The European Union has decided the only language we will use for business across all 63 countries is English. So all our material, it is only in English and cannot be translated into another language. Okay, that's really important. Because it's essentially been decided more people speak English than it is the business language of the world. I wouldn't take issue with that, but that's what's been happening now for over 15 years. So back to where I was, if we don't find what you're looking for, then me and my team will sit down with you and we produce what we call a profile, an advertisement if you like, but it's anonymized. Yeah? And that's deliberate because if any of the other countries say, oh, I'd be interested in talking to that company, then it will come to me. And having met with you, I'll make sure that I don't waste your time. It is what you were looking for and what you'd be interested in. What happens then is if you say, yeah, Lawson, I'd like to talk to that company, then we exchange details and contact information. So it's not about living out of airports and flying all over the world. These days it's email and Skype and doing a lot of business that way. Yeah, as I said, this is because this is aimed at SMEs. It is for you guys. If you search on the partner finding network, and I commend that to you. If you're setting up in your own business, why wouldn't you? And it's free. But the other thing is to use it because there's so much information out there about other markets, about help and support that you can gain locally, regionally and nationally. And in addition to that, I guarantee you, there's usually about a dozen or so events going on somewhere in the world, and you can filter down how many are in my industry or sector, and what sort of people are going there. Is it worth me going along? But before I go on to talk more about the Enterprise Europe Network, certainly if I was setting up a business today, as well as the Prince's Trust, I would be certain to speak to Business Wales, because locally we've got phenomenal support, and it's free, to help you not just set up in business, cash flows, business plans, but they also provide a mentoring service. I'm actually one of the volunteer mentors, I wouldn't suggest you work with me, but I'm one of the mentors with Business Wales. So again, that's a free support service. And the other thing I'd commend you, working out of a university, you'd say, he's got to say that, hasn't he? But no, seriously, I would strongly advocate working alongside your university. In Europe, universities are think tanks, they're resource tools for SMEs. In UK, for some reason, got my degree, and then that's it. I may dip back in for an MBA in a few years' time, but we don't use universities as much as they do over the continent. And we've got a lot of work to do on that, as you alluded to earlier, about starting with entrepreneurship, making Europe more competitive, and creating more post-grads that want to set up their own business.
Thus commercialize the research that happens in universities, but actually it's two different worlds. Research, commercialization is a different perspective altogether. So that's what British universities have a problem at the moment.
We do, absolutely. Why is it in China treble the number of students leave university with an aspiration of setting up and owning their own business, not in the UK. We're mindful of time, I won't go into that one, but it's a challenge we've got.
University incubation office. It's now also being sold out. But what I find in part of that, I was linked to the university, and they used to put things in front of me like this, and for me to go and explore.
Thank you, because that makes the point.
Yeah.
As an SME, you know, you've all got a problem. You've only got one pair of hands. So being able to get a free pair of hands, a student, young, keen, enthusiastic person who wants to work with you, yeah, and you can access that. I'm sure we've all got family, children, whatever, but there's different schemes. I've kept this along because it's up to date, but we do work placements for 5 days, Swansea paid internships, so we'll actually pay a student to come and work for you for a month. And the good news in South Wales is we're a Santander University down in Swansea. So Santander, you pay an employee, if it's a 1 month placement, 3 month placements, you pay them £1,000 and it will be reimbursed by Santander Bank. So I haven't time to go into all that, but these are some of the services that are free, available, and your universities, I'm not just saying Swansea, any university will have these schemes available. Having kids myself, that's all I'd say. Hey, you know, we were all young once. Give someone a chance. Give them a chance to work in your business, work hard. Do me a favour, don't care who you're giving to. Come and interview 3 or 4. Choose who you want. Get someone who wants to do the job and is hungry. And would you please do me a favour, if they're any good, then give them a reference at the end of the internship.
I find working with the young ones coming in, I learn from them like they learn from you. I've got a 20-year-old, he's obviously in Brazil, but he's Thursday, so I've got this, I've got that, I've got that, I've got them, and I've got what's there, and I've got a bit of paper.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned a good point there about Brazil. It's a good point to pick up on, because Europe has another program to help SMEs. I think we've got more work to do in getting word out. I've written it down here. It's called Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs. So I helped a gentleman a couple of months ago that wanted to set up his own delicatessen in the UK, and I was able to say, look, hold on, if you'd like to visit another country in Europe and work alongside the manager there, obviously give them a hand, but not technically working in the business, you can be paid £1,000 a month. I think it's up to 3 months to gain that work experience and practical advice from somebody working in that area and having that expertise then before you come back to the UK and set up that business.
Well, you act as a mentor to them, because you explain to them the problems, especially about the small one, the problems that you're having. I said, you can't say that, be careful, this is the reason why. Oh, okay, I'll delete them.
Yeah. Okay,
so they learn.
I'm going to have to push on because Ilya has given me a time warning. But these are the sorts of things that I haven't got time to talk them through today, honestly, but I'm just signposting to you. I know Swansea University, we've just secured, I think it's over the order of £3 million funding, and the programme is called Cherish, CHERISH, Digital Economy, and that's giving, it's a collaboration, South Wales Police, DVLA, the University of Computer Science, and essentially there's funding there for ICT companies, and it's all about human interaction with ICT and advances in ICT and innovation. So that's where universities, Business Wales, Welsh Government, they're a must-do, honestly, to find out what's available and to be signposted to these services. What we do, in addition to partner funding, which is the majority of my work, I have to say, we'll match businesses wanting to sell in other countries, suppliers, distributors, yeah. You have companies that have patented technology, or they've got challenges that they want help fulfilling. So we help them in sourcing that technology and licensing it or developing it, whatever. Research also, I say to SMEs about research, what do you want about? But then when I rephrase it and say, how many of you are looking to enhance your product, make it more competitive, change the processes in the workplace. Oh, everyone's doing that. We're all trying to get leaner and fitter and more competitive. Yeah. So there's, I then mentioned R&D tax credits. You know, so we mentioned paying tax. My gentleman colleague at the back. What's that? So I just throw, you know, there is tax support available in the areas of research and innovation. Secondly to the partner finding is helping companies access finance and funding. Yeah, coming from the banking world myself, that's what I do best as far as finance is concerned. But my colleague at the back, Dikani, certainly with the funding. Starting off, I would always recommend start locally, start regionally with regional funding. You've got such things as the Welsh Government innovation vouchers, yeah, to help innovate and commercialise the product, bring ideas forward, if you like, to commercialisation. In addition to that, you've got such schemes as Smart Cymru, yeah, to help innovative businesses commercialise. In addition to that, you've also got funding from the Welsh Government, something called Score Cymru. And that is a programme which, if you want to access European funding, it helps pay for a bid writer. And if you do need to travel internationally to meet up with another company, partners, whatever, they pay up to £1,000 towards the transport costs.
What's the name?
Score Cymru. Score, S-C-O-R-E, Supporting Collaborative Opportunities Research. I can't remember, but if you Google Score Cymru, you'll certainly find it. And that is unique. That's only available in Wales. If you're in England, they've got the Trade Access Programme, but it's nothing as generous as it is in Wales here, because we're in a convergence region. Likewise, there's innovation vouchers in Wales, £25,000, over the bridge, £5,000. So, you know, this is the place to set up in business. And actually, I'm starting to see a trend of companies actually relocating to a convergence region because of the financial help and support that's available to them. Many of you heard about Horizon 2020? Yeah, one or two nods. Honestly, I hadn't heard of it till I took the job. But I'm sure you've heard on the news, as I am, all the countries in Europe pay their dues into Brussels. There's always some country who pays the most.
Gofynir yn garedig I chi beidio gadael bagiau neu eiddo personol heb oruchwyliaeth. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
This is a security announcement. Please do not leave bags or personal belongings unattended. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for that. Okay, so where was I? I was talking about Horizon 2020. So literally all 28 member states in the European Union contributing to Brussels. Brussels has a huge pot of money, and I mean a huge pot of money, that they decide how they're going to spend to make Europe more competitive, to take on the likes of China and the US. So the budget has recently been reduced, but it is still over 70 billion euros. I just want to point to myself, 70 billion, I just can't get my head around that. So believe me, all of the countries are in Europe, because that is the most funding available across the world. Now, Horizon is the name given to a budget. It's a budget that takes us from 2013 to 2020. So Europe gives their budgets a name. The last one was Funding Programme 7. This one, Horizon 2020, because it takes us up to 2020. Now, what they've done with the Commission is Horizon, essentially universities are very active in this role, been very successful of attracting a lot of research funding. So it hasn't been wasted, it's furthered research. But your average university, the registered charities, are they interested in making money? Perhaps not as much as me and you. Traditionally, I would add. They certainly are coming around to that way of thinking. So what the Commission has done, the lifeblood of Wales, 96% of our businesses in Wales are SMEs. We're so dependent on the public sector. Across Europe, the core business activities are SMEs. So Europe loves SMEs. So they want to make sure that funding is directed to SMEs. So what they have done, they've ring-fenced part of this £70 billion. I think they must have paid a lot of money for the name because they called it the SME instrument. And this is my favourite. It's easy, it's simple, even I can understand this one. But it's meant to be, when it was a FP7, businesses were saying, you know, all well and good, but actually I've got a business to run, that doesn't pay my mortgage, and I cannot afford to spend 3 months writing a bid and then find it's not successful. So SMEs were very, very reluctant to engage in accessing this money, and Europe wants to become more commercialised, more competitive. So we're doing something wrong. So they've ring-fenced this pot of money called the SME instrument. You can access it online, but hang on before you do. And what I like about it is an 11-page online application form. So we can help you with that. We've got do's and don'ts, best practice, whatever. And if the Commission likes your innovation, and of course this isn't for service industries, this is for innovations. If they like your innovation and they think it's close to market, so you've done all the development work, proof of concept, proof of market, they'll say, here, there's 50,000 euros, come back to us in 12 months, and go away, do an IP exploitation plan, feasibility study, whatever you need to submit a comprehensive, robust business plan for phase 2. And phase 2 are grants of up to 2.5 million euros. Yeah? So we've got a lot of work to do in Wales to get the word out there. We've got a lot of innovative SMEs, is to make sure that the SME instrument features further along down the road, perhaps in their strategy, that this funding can be accessed. It's so, you can imagine, phenomenally competitive, so it's essential that you work with us. Also, to improve your chances, work collaboratively with other countries, yeah. And we will also try to make sure, in fact we will make sure, that your innovation is of interest to the Commission. It's an area where they're investing in, and it's something they're looking at. Yeah. So this SME instrument, the nice thing is it's what we call bottom-up innovation. So it's for new ideas coming to market that could be commercialised pretty quickly with some extra funding from the EU. And we're looking for businesses. This isn't research, mind. Can we sell these goods in the UK? Can we sell them across Europe? More importantly, can we sell them across the rest of the world? Is there money to be made here?
Goods and services? Or
yes.
Good purely?
This is for innovation in businesses, new businesses. It does include startups, but I have to say the reality is something that if you're not collaborating, yeah, or have a wow innovation, then you may be wasting your time. So I'd recommend that you certainly chat, why wouldn't you, with the enterprise Europe before you go ahead. The SME instrument doesn't close, there's no deadline for it. Literally once a quarter the Commission takes in the applications, evaluates them, and then give feedback on who's been successful, phase 1 and phase 2. You can resubmit your application, yeah, but if you've got to resubmit, the chances of that going through are even less. What is concerning is that, well, you know, what I'm doing may fit, and I'll have a go and see, you know, there's no harm in applying. And what's tending to happen is the SMEs are trying to get them in within a week or two before the deadline, so they don't meet the criteria. They're not robust, they're not well thought through, they're last minute, they're not really a serious application. So when you see the figures for the success rate, it looks pretty poor. But then when you think, well, what percentage of applicants actually meet the criteria and go through for evaluation? Just under 20%. Yeah. So you're talking there of almost 80% of the applications, when he goes online, fills it in, and trusts their luck. No, you're wasting your time. It's like catching a train that goes at 11 o'clock and trying to get there for 5 past. Yeah. So I commend this to you as something that's worth looking into, particularly if you've got an innovation that you're looking to commercialise, but there are funding opportunities there for you. finally, just to wrap up, being part of Innovate UK and the European Union, what is stopping more businesses applying for European funding? And what's stopping? Surely every business wants to be innovative, they want to be sustainable. So what the Commission has done is launch a new service in the UK. It's called Innovate to Succeed. And essentially Enterprise Europe allocates an account manager to that business for average around 7 days. And the Commission has developed a diagnostic tool, and we run that diagnostic. Of course, it's your business, not ours, with your permission. We share the findings and make recommendations, and we help you implement some of those suggestions that you want to work on. So it's very much on your agenda. Again, it's free, yeah? And that's, if you like, to stimulate growth in business, so in the hope that further down the line, they will look at accessing European funding to expand and internationalise. So that's a relatively new initiative. In addition to that, if you do apply for European funding and you're successful, Enterprise Europe Network will allocate to that business a key account manager to help them navigate through rules, procedures, whatever, to help them with their business. Most importantly, the European Union has recruited a panel across all member states of coaches, experienced, qualified, and they have specialities, so you wouldn't have one coach just coaching you on everything. The Commission call it coaching, I would know it better as mentoring. Yeah? So it may be that you're looking to open a business in Portugal, then it would make sense that we identify perhaps a coach in Portugal that can help you there with local knowledge and expertise. We sign a lot of NDAs, so where we have done, I can't share that knowledge with you. But to give you an example, company Crimson Technology last year down in Swansea, they provide software to help universities with recruitment and relationship management, customer relationship management, CRM as it's known. And they'd started off doing growing market share in the UK and thought, what about China? That's really huge potential, and what support's available in China? Cut a long story short, we contacted the EEN office, my equivalent out in China. We also worked with the Welsh Government, which I believe has got 16 offices throughout China, and we showed them around some science park, technology parks, looked at what grant funding. They've now opened up a research unit in the Wuxi province, and the Chinese government, very generous, has given them the office space, 12 months free of charge, after that covering service charges and a free member of staff. So they're looking now that when we recruit students and whatever, if they go back home to China, they can offer them a job. But it's considerably reduced their labour costs to do R&D and develop, to grow market share in China. So these are some of the things we do. I'll stop there.